All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're talking about how to architect your daily workflow with ChatGPT. And look, I'm going to make you a big promise. By the end of this, you'll have a rock-solid plan to get a huge chunk of your time back every single day.
What's this number all about? 4. That's our goal, 4 hours. I want you to just imagine for a second what you would do with an extra 4 hours a day. Seriously, would you finish that side project? Learn that new skill? Maybe just actually leave work on time for once? It is absolutely possible, and it all starts with one simple shift in how you think.
So here's the thing. Why do so many people try ChatGPT, get frustrated, and just give up? It boils down to this one common mistake you see on the left. They treat it like a Google search bar. They pop in a simple question and, well, they get a simple, pretty useless answer back. The expert approach, it's a world apart. You treat it like a chief of staff. And trust me, this isn't just a small tweak in thinking. If you're just searching, you are leaving 90% of its power completely untapped.
So how do we make that leap? How do we go from searcher to commander? It all starts right here, with this foundational mindset shift. You have to stop thinking of ChatGPT as some kind of all-knowing bot and start seeing it as your digital mirror.
The whole idea of a digital mirror is that it can only reflect the quality of what you put in front of it. You see, ChatGPT doesn't know things like you and I do. It's not an encyclopedia. Deep down, it's a pattern-matching machine. It is making an incredibly sophisticated guess about what the next best word should be based on all the data it's been trained on. And, this is the key part, based on the instructions you give it. The quality of your input literally dictates the quality of its output.
This slide says it all, doesn't it? If you give it a blurry prompt, you get a blurry result. It is that simple. So the absolute crucial takeaway here is this. To win with AI, you have to stop searching for answers, and you've got to start briefing your new digital partner.
Okay, so we get the why. We need to brief, not search. But what about the how? I mean, how do you actually give a good briefing? Well, for that, you need a system. And the one that the pros use for pretty much every single task is called the CREAD framework.
Let's just break this down. It's super simple. C is for context. You got to tell it what's going on. Who are you? What's the bigger picture? R is for role. You give it a job title. Tell it to act as a senior marketing copywriter, for example. E is for evidence. This is where you give it examples of what good looks like. Show it your style. A is for action. What's the one specific thing you want it to do? And finally, D is for deliverable. How do you want the final answer to look? In a table, a list, you get the idea. This structure is your cheat code for clarity.
And here's what that looks like in the real world. This isn't just theory. For context, you're not just saying write taglines. You're saying we are a startup. For role, you give it that job title, senior marketing copywriter. You're building guardrails. For evidence, you show it a real example. Then the action is a crystal clear command, and the deliverable tells it exactly how to package the answer. This is the difference between getting a page of generic garbage and getting exactly what you had in your head.
All right, so you've got the framework. That's the foundation. Now let's get into a couple of secrets of the pros. This is the stuff that no one really talks about, and it's what separates the beginners from the people getting real results.
Okay, first let's bust a huge myth. The first answer you get from ChatGPT is almost never the final answer. Experts use a technique called chain of density prompting. You never ever just take the first output and run. Instead, it's a conversation. You ask it to write something, then, and this is the wild part, you tell it to critique its own work. And then, the final magic step, you ask it to rewrite the whole thing based on its own critique. It's an amazing loop that just keeps making the output better and better.
And here's the other pro tip, and it's a big one. Stop giving your assistant amnesia. Every single time you click New Chat, you're wiping its memory. It forgets everything about you, your project, your style. The real pro move is to build its memory. You use dedicated chat threads for specific projects. When you do that, you're training the AI on the context of that project. So over time, it actually gets smarter and more helpful for that specific task.
Okay, so we have the mindset, we have the pro techniques, let's put it all together. What does this actually look like in a simple daily workflow, from the moment you wake up to when you're wrapping up your day?
Think of your day in 3 acts. In the morning, you use it as your prioritizer. Just copy and paste that messy brain dump of all your to-dos and ask it to sort it into a logical plan. Then, midday, it becomes your friction remover. You know, when you get stuck on a tricky email or a dense report, just feed it the raw info and ask for a first draft. It gets you over the hump. And finally, in the evening, it's your optimizer. You take work you've already finished, feed it back in, and ask it to find flaws or suggest improvements. It's a full-cycle partner.
So this all sounds great, but where do you actually start? Like, what can you do the minute this is over? Let's distill everything down into your very first command. Simple, actionable steps you can take today.
Here are 3 things I want you to do. First, before you do anything else, go into the ChatGPT settings and find Custom Instructions. This is where you tell the AI about you, your job, and your style, so you only have to brief it once. Second, make a promise to yourself to never start from a blank page again. Just give the AI your 20% core idea and let it generate the first 80% draft for you. And third, fundamentally change how you talk to it. Start treating it like a very smart, very fast intern who just needs clear instructions. This isn't about learning complex prompt engineering, it's just about being a better communicator.
If you remember one single thing from all of this, let it be this. This is the entire mindset shift summed up in one powerful sentence. Stop typing questions and start giving orders. You're not a passive user anymore. You are in command of this tool.
So I'm going to leave you with a question, a challenge. Take a look at your to-do list for today. What's the first piece of friction you can eliminate? What's that one annoying task that's been bugging you? Don't just think about it. Go take that task, apply the CREAD framework, and make that friction disappear. Your 4 extra hours, they start right now.